Hello and welcome to Monday's Yoga Club. Your practice is at your own risk, and please do pay attention to how you're feeling today, how your body feels today, taking the right options for you. That might be the lighter options, and an option is always to miss something out if it's not right for you today. We're going to start the class lying down. So when you're ready, bring yourself to a good, comfortable lying down posture. That may well be Shavasana pose, feet out to the corners, hands away from your body, your palms turned up. And once you're lying down, let everything relax. Let your shoulders relax. Let your feet relax. Let your head rest against the ground. As always at the beginning of the class, it's about quietening the mind. It's about drawing the mind inwards so that we can be fully aware of our bodies during our practice. So once you're sure that your body's comfortable against the ground, then you can bring your attention to your breath. Being aware of the next 2 or 3 inhales and exhales. Noticing where you have that awareness of your breath. Where do you notice it when you're paying attention to your breathing? Taking your attention from there to your abdomen, so that as you inhale, you can direct the expansion downwards into your abdomen rising then as you inhale, and your abdomen relaxing down as you exhale. So keeping that awareness on the rise and fall, and also becoming aware of the cause of that rise and fall. So being aware that it's the diaphragm causing that. That's the muscle that sits between the rib cage and the abdominal cavity. As you breathe in, it pushes down into the abdomen, moving aside all the organs, causing them to lift. And when you exhale, it lifts up and presses up into the abdominal cavity, pressing the air out of your lungs. So for the next few breaths, just have an awareness that you might be able to visualize it, but having an awareness on the inhale of it pushing down, making your rib cage bigger, drawing air in. As you exhale, it pushes back up into the lungs, pressing the air out. And with that awareness of the diaphragm, you can just maybe deepen your breath a little, so that you let your abdomen press down, your diaphragm press down into your abdomen a little more to draw more air in on your next 2 or 3 breaths. Maybe allowing it to press up more into your rib cage, expelling a little bit more air on your exhale. So good, smooth, slow, deep breaths. And just letting that practice go, but keeping your breath nice and steady and slow. Bringing your feet together and taking your arms out over and above your head. Just letting your arms rest on the ground. You can bend your elbows if you need to so that they can relax on the ground. Then as you next exhale, bring your right knee in and your arms can come over to take a gentle hold of your knee, drawing it into your chest. As you next inhale, let your legs stretch out, your arms go up and back overhead. Next Exhale, your left knee comes in, your arms come over to draw your knee inwards. Inhaling, your leg stretches out, your arms stretch out. And then keep that going with your breath, alternating at legs, so that as you exhale, arms and knee come in. As you inhale, arms and legs stretch out. If you wanted to make this a little stronger, as you exhale everything in, you could also lift your head up towards your knee. As you inhale, then taking your head back down, stretching your arms out. Knowing as always, this could be a good thing to do before you head out running or riding, warming up lots of different parts of the body. A final refinement to this could be that as you draw your knee in and lift your head, you could flex the foot, drawing the toes up to the knees. So getting a stretch work at the ankle as well. And next time you find yourself stretching out your left leg, you can bring this to a halt. Bringing your hands down by your sides, letting your feet relax apart, and taking a breath there. And bring your feet together, stretch your arms above your head, interlacing your fingers if that's comfortable, pressing your palms away, pressing your toes forward, pressing your hands back, stretching out. And as you stretch out, feeling the skin stretching on your ankles, feeling that stretch over your abdomen at your armpits, and then release. As you exhale, bring your hands over by your side, bringing yourself to sitting, and slowly up from there to standing. Ready for sun salutations. Coming to the front of your mat, bringing your feet together so you feel the contact between the insides of your feet. Hands relaxing by your side, pressing your feet into the mat, lifting the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. So stretching long, relaxing your shoulders, tilting the very top of your chest up towards the ceiling. 2 breaths then before we start. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hands coming together at the center of your chest, relaxing your shoulders and lifting your elbows, pressing your palms firmly together. Stretch and reach your arms up to the ceiling, look between them, and then tilt your rib cage up as you take your arms back from your hips. Stretch all the way forward and all the way down. Knees bend as much as you need to so your fingertips touch the mat. Head hangs heavy, neck muscles relaxed. Take your right leg all the way back. Lift your gaze there, letting your right heel press away. Then send your left foot back. Our first down face dog. Hips lift on high. Make that your first move. Second move is to press your heels down. Third move is to press your hands down and away from you. Come forward from there to plank so that your shoulders come over your wrists, finding a straight line from the back of your neck to your heels. Then lowering your knees, followed by your chest, making contact with your chin or forehead on the ground. Pressing forward as you lift your face and lift your chest. Shoulder blades ease back, elbows in close. Toes tucking and lifting your hips. You could take them back to your heels first or straight up to the ceiling, coming back to down face dog. Hips lifting, heels pressing down, hands pressing down. And then we'll take our quad stretches from here. Do come down if we end up being here too long for you. Bending your right knee and exhaling as you press your left heel firmly to the mat. Next inhale, swap that over, so now your left knee's bending and exhaling, right heel pressing firmly down. 2 more each side. Inhaling as you swap. Exhale, left heel firmly down. Inhale, swap.
Exhale, right heel down. Feeling that stretch in the right calf. Inhale, swap. Exhale, final one on the left side. Firmly pressing it down. Inhaling, swap. Right heel to the mat. Press your left heel down to join the right. Reset your dog if you've got the energy. Hips lift, heels down, hands pressing forward. Looking between your hands. Bringing your right foot through. Letting your gaze lift, letting your hips relax. Springing your left foot through, finding relaxation in your forward fold just for a moment. Then reaching and stretching your arms up. Hands arc up to the ceiling. Taking your arms back, taking your armpits back, and hands come down. Inhale. Exhaling, your palms firmly together. Stretch and reach your arms up and back, tilting your rib cage to the ceiling. Stretching forward and down from your hips. Fingertips touching the mat. Left leg all the way back. Press your left heel away. Lifting your left knee, lifting your left thigh. Sending your right foot back to down face dog. Hips lift, heels down, hands press down. Taking your weight back towards your legs so you feel your chest starting to head towards your knees. Come forward to plank, looking between your hands. A little bit of core here, navel drawing up towards your spine, shoulder blades relaxing. If you're feeling strong, you could come down in one straight line, taking your elbows to the wall behind you, or knees then chest. Pressing forward as you lift your face and lift your chest into a little cobra. Tucking your toes and lifting your hips into down face dog. Lift your hips on high, sending your chest back towards your knees, feeling your armpits lower to the ground as your hands press into the mat as your heels press down into the ground. Looking between your hands, bringing your left foot through. Lifting your gaze, hips relax, right heel presses away. Right foot springs through, relaxing into your forward fold with your head hanging heavy. Stretch and reach up, look between your hands, take your arms up and back, and hands come down. Inhale, exhale. We'll take one more round, flowing with the breath. So this is about the individual postures, but also it's about feeling and enjoying the flow from one to the next. Hands relaxing, crown of your head lifting. Inhale, exhale, palms pressed together, lifting your elbows. Inhale, reach and stretch up and back. Exhale, stretch forward and all the way down, bending your knees as much as you need. Inhale, right leg back. Let your hips relax. Exhale, left foot back. Now hips lift on high as your hands press down. Inhale, forward to plank, looking between your hands in plank. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, face and chest lift, shoulder blades ease back. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift on high, heels pressed firmly down. Inhale, right foot through. Lift your gaze, stretch your left heel away. Exhale, left foot through. The exhale helping you to relax a little more. Inhale, stretching and reaching up and back. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, exhale, palms pressed together. Inhale, stretching and reaching up, looking between your hands. Exhale from the hips forward and down. Inhale, left leg back. Lift your gaze there. Exhale, right foot back. Hands pressed down, chest to your knees. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, face and chest lifts. Elbows in close. Exhaling, toes tuck, hips lift, hands press forward, heels down. Inhale, left foot through, lifting your gaze. Exhale, right foot through. forward fold. Final one, relaxing down as much as you can. Inhale, stretch and reach up. Looking between your hands. Exhale, hands down. Taking your feet apart, turning your palms to face forward. We'll take a couple of cooling breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. We're going to come to lying down on the mat. If you could adjust your camera so I can see you, that would be great, if that's possible. And then once you're reclining, relax and let everything go. So having just done all of those movements, used all of those muscles, worked all of those joints, then it might be quite nice just to be tuned into what's going on in your body, having done that. Being curious, just noticing any sensations, anything that's occurring. I'm going to take a new posture, new to this class. It's Supta Gomukhasana, which is a reclining cow face pose. It allows us to loosen the glutes and the hamstrings and get a really good stretch of the hips. To set yourself up, bend your knees, bringing your feet in towards you, so your feet are hip distance apart. Picking up your right foot and crossing it over your left leg. So this isn't putting the ankle on, this is a full cross, so that you're making that as snug and tight as you can. Then pick your left foot up, so you're bringing your knees in towards you. And then you probably need to lift your head away from the ground. Lift yourself up so that you can reach forward with your hands, taking hold of your legs so that your right hand holds your left leg, your left hand holds your right leg. Now ideally, if you could hold your feet, that's great. You want to be as close to your feet as you can, but if you are nearer your shins, that's fine. And what you might find is that it's easy to take a hold of your right leg lower, but your left one, you're nearer your knee. Then once you've got a good grip, take your head back down. You might need to lift your legs with you as you take your head back down. And then once your head's relaxing on the ground, just let your legs relax. You might find your feet come in towards you. This is worth it, I promise you. And then with your head relaxing on the ground, your legs relaxing, just lift your heels out and away from you. So you're just lifting your legs up a little. And then start to draw your legs in towards you. So that you can also be sort of widening your arm, stretching your arms a bit wider as you draw your legs back. And as you do that, you should feel some good stretches going on in your left hip and maybe in your left glute, but you may feel stretches anywhere as you take this. Just relaxing your upper body as much as you can. Seeing if you can bring your legs in any closer. Seeing if you can take your feet away from you a little wider. Taking one more breath, relaxing everything on the exhale. Then keep your legs lifted, just release your legs and take your arms out to the side at shoulder height. And then when you're ready, with your arms pressing into the ground, anchoring you down, slowly take your legs over to the left-hand side. Taking them as low as your right shoulder blade allows. Ideally, you want to keep a contact with your right shoulder blade in the ground. Now, straight away, that will give you a good twist, and you could hold here, letting gravity give you the twist. If you wanted to make it a little more, you could take your left hand onto your right knee.
and just help that stretch a little more. Or you might find you can reach across and take your arm over and reach your left knee. But you're just letting your legs come down a little closer to the ground, keeping your right shoulder blade pressing into the ground as well, feeling the twist in your spine and the stretch that's going on down the outside of your right leg and in your right glutes. Just take one more breath there, then releasing your legs with your hand, bringing your legs back up to the center, uncrossing, landing your feet down, and then just maybe stretching your legs out and just having a little rock side to side with your hips. Then bending your knees again, setting up ready to do the other side. Crossing your left leg over the right this time. So you're bringing your legs as close together. You're bringing them nice and close. Picking up your right foot so your legs come in towards you. And then sitting up a little bit, lifting your head away from the ground, reaching around, taking a hold of, if you can, your feet. Maybe it'll be your ankles, maybe it'll be your shins. You might have one hand on a knee, as close to your feet as you can easily reach. And then taking your head back down, bring your legs with you. You might need to adjust your grip as you do that. Let your legs relax so your heels just come down towards the ground. And then lift your heels away from you. So it's like you're opening wings as your legs open a little. And then start to ease your legs back to you using your arms. Maybe using your arms to widen them as well. So your arms are pulling out to the side as well as drawing your legs back towards you. Relaxing your upper body. Feeling the stretches going on in your hips. Using your breath so that as you exhale, you let your shoulders relax. Then releasing your legs, taking your arms out to the side, keeping that lift in your legs. And when you're ready, slowly and with control, taking both legs over to the right hand side. Aiming, if you can, to land them down so that both of them are in contact with the ground. Then you can take your right hand onto your left knee. And with your left shoulder blade pressing down, ease your legs down towards the ground. Slowly and gently increasing the stretch. Especially using the exhale to take things a little deeper. So on the exhale, that might be when you can just ease your legs down a little more towards the ground. Taking one more breath there. And as you next inhale, bringing your legs back up to the center. Uncrossing, landing your feet down and stretching your legs out. Hands come in by your side, maybe taking a rock of your hips, just easing your hips out where we've stretched. And from here we'll do some work for our core. You may have noticed last week, so we were focusing on post-run or ride stretches. We didn't work our core, so we'll make up for that this week with some double leg raises. So bringing your feet together, hands by your side, palms turned down. Hands by your side, palms turned down is the middle setting. If you want to make things stronger tonight, take your hands and place them behind your head. If you want to make things lighter, take your hands underneath your buttocks. Wherever you've got your hands, draw your navel in towards your spine. So you feel your lower back pressed down towards the ground. As you next inhale, you can then lift your legs up towards the ceiling, drawing your toes towards you and pressing your knees away so your legs are strong and straight. Exhaling, lower back down.
And then keep that movement going with your breath. As you inhale, your legs lift. As you exhale, they lower down at a nice steady pace. Keeping your navel drawing in towards your spine, that's what gives you the control and stops your lower back trying to do the work. If you find your lower back is starting to ache, then you could lighten the load by bringing your hands underneath your buttocks. Next time you find yourself with your legs in the air, hold there. For the next 3, I'm going to give you a countdown. You can go faster than my countdown if you need to. Hands pressing into the ground if they're by your side, navel drawing towards your spine, coming down to a count of 7. Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. Touch down, let your legs relax for a moment. Then bring your feet back together, navel to your spine. As you next inhale, lifting your legs. Taking them as high and as straight as you can. Then coming down to a count of 8. Om 8, Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4. You should be at the halfway point. Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. And touching down. Take a rest, albeit a brief one. Then feet together, toes drawing up towards you, knees pressing down, navel towards your spine. As you next inhale, lifting your legs up towards the ceiling. We're coming down to a count of 9 this time. Do go faster if you need. Om 9, Om 8, Om 7, Om 6. Navel towards your spine. Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. Touching down, turning your palms to face up, letting your feet relax apart, shoulders relaxing, and sending the breath once more to your abdomen. As you breathe in, your abdomen rises. As you exhale, it gently falls. We're going to take bridge pose next, so giving our back a first stretch. Bending your knees, bringing your feet in towards you. Arms come in close by your side, stretching your hands down. Maybe seeing if you can just graze the middle of each heel with the middle finger of each hand. And then ensuring your feet are hip distance apart. Turning your toes slightly towards each other, so you're just a tiny bit pigeon-toed. And then let's take the lift really slowly. So the start of the lift is tilting your tailbone up to the ceiling, so your pelvis tilts up towards you. You'll feel your lower back press into the ground, and then slowly start to lift your hips so your lower back leaves the ground, followed by your middle back. And then as you lift higher, your upper back also starts to peel away from the mat. Once your hips are lifted as high as they'll comfortably go, you could then start to press into your feet to see if they'll lift a little higher, and maybe start pressing into your upper arms to see if more of your back can be peeled away from the mat. And as your hips lift, you maybe feel the skin stretching over the pointy sticking out bones at the front of your hips as your hips lift up and back. Then keeping your hands and arms flat on the ground, we're going to take an extension today to this. So with your hips lifting, pressing down into both feet, take more weight over into your left foot, so you're lightening the load on your right foot a little, so you can then pick your right foot away from the ground, drawing your knee into your chest. Holding here, lifting your right hip up a little more if you can, and then maybe pointing your heel up towards the ceiling. Keeping pressing down into your left foot, pressing into your upper arms to help you to get that lift. Then bending your right knee, bringing your right foot down onto the ground. If you've got the energy, hold your bridge pose here, lifting your hips, pressing into your upper arms, taking your weight then over onto the right side so you can lift your left knee towards you and maybe point your left heel up to the ceiling, so straightening that left leg. Keeping your right foot pressing down, keeping your left hip lifting as much as you can. avoiding it sinking down. Then bending your left knee, bringing your left foot back onto the ground. A final lift of your hips, a lift of your upper back, and then very slowly start to descend back down, sending your hips towards your heel, draping your upper back, your lower back down onto the ground. Once you're landed, bring your knees onto your chest, taking your arms around the back of your knees or the front of your knees, and have a rock side to side. Bringing your rock into a halt in the centre, drawing your knees in closer as you lift your head up towards your knees. Then landing your feet down, landing your head down, and coming up to sitting. So we're going to take a forward fold. This time we're going to take Janu Shirshasana, which is head to knee pose. If you like to sit on a block for a forward fold, then please do. And where that's helpful is if you find sitting upright like this, it's an effort to hold yourself in place, or if you find when you're in a forward fold, it's challenging to get yourself forward, then a block is an ideal thing to sit on. So legs are stretching out, pressing your knees down so that your legs are straight. Then, I just realised I'm decapitated at the moment. I'll just lift the camera up a little. Then bring your left foot in so that you're bringing it against your right thigh. Or close to your right thigh. It won't be right against your right thigh if you're sitting on a block. Now only bring this knee in as far as, you'll let this foot in as far as your knee's comfortable to go. So if your knee's not comfortable being bent, you could reduce the angle, increase the angle actually, by moving your foot down, or you could have that leg stretched out. You don't have to have your knee bent. Taking your hands alongside you so you can press into your fingertips and just grow tall. Lift the crown of your head, lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Maybe starting to bring your upper body forward. So as I was talking about at the beginning of the class, this is all about the abdomen, bringing the abdomen forward. Lifting your arms up above your head and stretching up to the ceiling, turning to face your right foot, and then as you next exhale, hinging forward from your hips, bringing your navel towards your right foot, hinging with your arms lifted for as long as you can, but when you've gone as far as you can then bring your hands down to wherever they come to for you. That might be your knees, your shins, your ankle, or your toes. Once you're there, as always, we're just going to relax into this. So every time you inhale, ease your upper body forward towards your right toes. And every time you exhale, let your upper body relax. If your body's come forward, then you may be able to relax down over that leg. If you've got any discomfort in your lower back, or if you're feeling like you're sitting quite upright, take a bend in that right knee, or if you hyperextend as well, take a little bend in that right knee so that you can ease yourself forward. And then, once you've got a good posture, you could then start to press that knee down a little bit over time, so gently making the leg a little straighter. So taking 2 more breaths. Inhaling, easing forward. Exhaling, relaxing down. Then don't move a muscle except your head to look at your toes and your arms to stretch them forward. Have an exhale where you press forward and a big inhale where you lift yourself back up. Exhale, lowering your hands down. Taking your right hand onto your right knee and your left hand behind you with your palm flat on the ground. You can then press your left leg down because we're going to bring our weight up onto this left leg in a moment. So when you're ready, you can start to lift your hips up and forward, bringing your arm up and around behind you so your arms stretching to the wall that's above your head. You're lifting your hips up to the ceiling and pressing them, one could say thrusting even them, forward to the wall that's now in front of you. Maybe pressing your right foot into the ground as you press your right fingers away, so you're stretching all the way down the right hand side, pressing your left hand into the mat as you lift your hips up and forward. Then on your next exhalation, slowly lower your hips back down, bringing your arm around to land back onto your right knee. Stretching your left leg out, maybe shaking on the midpoint, and then bringing your right foot in and pointing your left toes up towards the ceiling. Again, and you might be different one side to the other. It's absolutely fine to have that leg stretched out or brought in at a bigger angle. Hands can then come behind you. As you press down with your fingertips, you lift your torso upright, extending up towards the ceiling. Pressing your right knee down a little as your left toes point up. Then as you next inhale, arms stretch up to the ceiling. So again, this is all about growing tall, creating space in the spine for the bend, turning to your left foot, and on an exhale, starting to bring your whole upper body forward towards your left toes. Reaching and stretching forward until you can come forward no more. Then let your hands drift down to wherever they come to for you. Just taking a gentle hold and then starting to inhale your upper body forward. Exhale, relax your upper body down, taking a bend in that knee if you need to. So either discomfort in your lower back, feeling that you're sitting very upright or hyperextending, or if it's just not comfortable having that knee completely stretched. Inhale, easing forward. Exhale, relaxing down. This is called head to knee pose. But if you try to get your head to your knee, you'll end up bending your neck. So what it's nice to do is think of keeping your neck straight and taking your chest towards that knee. Gives you a better posture here. Take 2 more breaths. Then lift your gaze to look at your toes. Stretch your arms forward. Next exhale, let's press forward. Big inhale as you lift back up. Exhaling, lowering your hands down. And then, oh no, we're not stretching our right leg out. We're going to take our left hand on our left knee. We're going to take our right hand behind us, the palm firmly planted in the ground. Pressing your right leg down, because we're going to take our weight up onto there in a moment. Then when you're ready, lifting your hips away from the ground and starting to press them forward. Your arm swings around the back. So your arm stretching away from you, feeling that stretch at your armpit. Maybe being able to place your left sole of your left foot onto the ground. Lifting your hips up to the ceiling and forward to the wall you're looking at. Pressing your left foot into the ground, stretching your left fingertips back. Pressing into your right hand, pressing into your right leg as your hips lift up and forward. One more breath here, stretching out in all directions as you take it. As you exhale, slowly lowering your hips back down, bringing your left arm back around, landing it on your knee, stretching your legs out and taking a shake of your legs. Coming from there, to lying on our fronts to do a little bit of work for our backs. So I realised last week with our full bow, and it was quite a strong class last week, so we're going to take it a little easier on the back work today. So come to lying on your front. Before we do anything, make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead onto that pillow. And just take a couple of moments there, relaxing everything, letting the ground hold you for a moment. Maybe then taking just a little rock left and right
with your hips. So easing where we stretched those earlier with our lying down cow face pose. Bringing that to a halt, and then your hands come underneath your shoulders, tips of your fingers lining up to the top of your shoulders so your elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. Bringing your elbows in close, making contact with your chin or forehead on the ground. Then, with your head resting on the ground, just taking your shoulders up to the ceiling and down towards your feet, a little up and back movement as you next inhale, lifting your face to look forward. Then with your hands just relaxing, they're not doing anything, as you next inhale, start to lift your chest away from the ground. Elbows coming in close, chest easing forward, shoulder blades easing down. Taking one more good breath there as you exhale, slowly lowering yourself back down. If you can, letting your forehead rest on the ground, your chin if that's not easy. Letting your upper body then just relax and rest down, so your shoulders can relax back down to the ground. Setting up for the next one, taking your shoulders up and back so they become active. Then as you next inhale, you can lift your face to look forward. Then with your hands just relaxing as you next inhale, lifting your chest away from the ground. Taking your shoulder blades down, bringing your elbows in nice and close. And then as your chest presses forward, your elbows can head back. Keeping your breath steady and smooth. As you next exhale, lowering back down. We've got 2 more of these with a little variation on each. So with your forehead resting on the ground, taking your shoulders up and back. Then as you next inhale, lifting your face, looking forward, feeling a little stretch in your throat as you do that. Then as you next inhale, slowly lifting your chest, shoulder blades easing back, elbows in close. This time if you want to, you could put a little bit of pressure into your hands. Just pay attention to your lower back as you lift yourself up, keeping your chest easing forward, keeping your elbows heading back. And your breath smooth, taking one more breath here. As you exhale, slowly lower back down, bringing your hands underneath your forehead, resting your forehead or cheek onto your hands. So the final one, taking your hands onto your lower back and interlacing your fingers. So if this is going to make it stronger, if what we've been doing has been strong enough for you, then take Cobra with your hands underneath your shoulders. Also, if your shoulders aren't going to be keen on you doing this with your hands interlaced, then you can easily just separate your hands and have them lifting separately. Chin or forehead on the mat. As you next inhale, lifting your face, looking forward. As you next inhale, starting to lift your chest. Nowhere to hide here, no hands helping. Then as you next inhale, you can lift your hands away from your back, pressing your hands to the wall that's at the end of your feet, keeping your breath steady and smooth. Seeing if you can lift your shoulders, arms, chest any higher. Taking one more good breath, lifting a bit more if you can as you take the inhale. And as you exhale, slowly lowering back down with control, releasing your hands, hands underneath your forehead, forehead or cheek, onto your hands. Noticing your breath and your heart rate. We'll give them a moment to settle back to resting. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, pressing into your hands to lift yourself back up. And then sitting back onto your heels. Actually, no, let's do that. I can see a lot of child's pose is going on, and I think that's a pretty good idea. So hips back to your heels, hands stretching forwards, lowering your forehead down to the ground. Keep your knees together at first so you stretch your back out. If your forehead doesn't easily touch the ground with your hips close to your heels, then you can either take a block underneath you, or you can make a fist with one hand or two hands, placing your forehead onto one or two fists. Once you're there, just letting yourself rest down, allowing your shoulders to feel heavy. If this feels really comfortable for you, and this is your preferred child's pose, then keep your knees together. But if you want to, you could take your knees out to the side so that your upper body relaxes down between them. You could also change the position of your hands if you want, maybe taking them down by your feet or stretching them out further forward. Allowing your exhales to relax you a little more closely towards the ground. Bringing your hands then underneath your shoulders. Press into your hands to lift yourself upright. Bring your knees together. And then quickly, as I'm sure many of you will want to, take your hips over to the right hand side. So you find yourself sitting to the right of your hips. You can then pick up your left foot and bring it over by the right knee. So this is full Ardha Matsyendrasana. If with your knees bent like this, if you've not got good contact with your left buttock and the ground, then please do send your right leg away from you, straighten that leg out so that you do have that good contact. If you don't have contact with both buttocks, then your spine's not straight. From there, take your left hand behind you, have it as close to the centre of your back as you can, pressing into your fingertips so that you can lift yourself up straight. Then as you next inhale, lift your right arm up to the ceiling. As with the forward folds, create space in your spine by reaching your arm up, reaching the crown of your head to the ceiling. On your next exhale, then start turning your chest around to the left, bringing this right arm down to either take the elbow against the knee or hug your arm around that leg. Taking your gaze over your left shoulder, sending your left shoulder back a little to lead your chest round a little further. Making sure your chin is straight, everybody's chin's looking straight, but you want to make sure you're looking straight ahead, not down, not up. Using your next 3 breaths, as you inhale, pressing into your backhand so that you straighten up. As you exhale, easing round a little more. Using your upper body strength with your arm giving a bit of assistance. You don't want to be forcing yourself hard round with your arm, especially if your elbow is against your knee. It's just helping you to ease deeper. And as you next inhale, lift your right arm up to the ceiling, growing tall. As you unwind, coming to face forward, exhale, lowering that hand. Then from here, if you've got one leg straight, then straighten your legs out. Straighten your legs and swap them. If you've got your legs like this, then take your hands over to the right hand side behind you. And you're going to lift your hips. Keep your feet where they are, just rotate, pivot around them as you walk all the way around the back. And then sit back down and you should be ready for the other side. Yes, perfect. So, sitting up straight. Maybe just drawing that top knee in towards you a little. So it's right leg over left. Or the opposite to what you did last time. Make sure you've got that contact with both buttocks. Then taking your left hand behind you. Reaching your right hand up towards the ceiling, stretching tall. Then, as you exhale, starting to turn around to the left. Taking your shoulder round, bringing your arm down to hug the leg or take your elbow against your knee. Oh, sorry. Come back. I've gone the wrong way. So back in the centre, drawing your knee in towards you. That's even made it more confusing, Jim, sorry. Then take your right hand behind you, pressing your right fingertips into the ground, lifting your chest towards that knee. Inhaling, lift your left arm, growing tall. As you exhale, start taking your torso around to the right, leading with letting your right shoulder lead you round, bringing your left arm down to hug that leg or bring your elbow against the knee, looking over your right shoulder with your chin level, and then using your breath so that as you inhale, press into your backhand, lift and straighten. As you exhale, ease a little deeper into the twist, taking your chest round, taking your right shoulder round. Taking 2 more breaths. As you next inhale, lift your left arm as you untwist, and then exhale, lower that arm. Uncross your legs, stretch your legs out, taking a shake. And then from there, we're going to bring ourselves up to standing. So today, we're going to combine the standing postures and the balance together by taking Warrior 1 and transitioning it seamlessly to Warrior 3, with Warrior 3 being a one-legged pose, so that will give us our balance. So for this, just make sure you've got plenty of room in front of you and behind you there, because we're going to be lifting a leg up in a moment. And then come to sideways on your mat so that you're facing this way. Taking your legs good and wide. So you're taking them as wide as you comfortably can. Bringing your hands onto your hips. Turning your right foot in towards you and sending your left toes to point forward. Then bringing your hips around to face the front. So press your back foot down really firmly. That will help you bring your right hip round a little more. Take a lift of your chest, and then as you next exhale, slowly start bending your left knee, keeping your torso upright as your hips descend towards the mat. Once you've come as low as you comfortably and easily can, then you could just make sure your ankle is in front of your knee. If it's not, then just shimmy your foot forward so that your ankle is in front. You'll have a gentle slope away from you on your shin. Then as you next inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And we're going to take 2 breaths here. Keep your back foot pressing firmly down, especially the heel. And then as you next inhale, lift your arms up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper, bending your front knee a little more. Next inhale, hands lift. Next exhale, sinking down. Hold here just for 1 breath. Back heel pressing into the ground, hands lifting. Then very, very slowly and carefully, pick up your back heel and pivot your foot round so you're on your toes. Bring it in a little closer if you need to. Then take some little steps to bring that foot in closer. Once it's coming close enough, you can then start to hinge forward as you lift your right leg up to the ceiling. So your right leg's just floating up to the ceiling. Your hands are pressing forward. Your heel on the right side is pressing back, and you're just bringing that leg as high as your balance allows. I'll just do the sideways on view of this.
So hands pressed forward, heel presses back. Then, to come out, slowly bending your standing knee, landing your back leg as far behind you as you can, lifting your arms, bending that left knee against your back into your warrior one. Then as you next inhale, straighten your front knee, turn to the side, feet face forward, hands on hips, and heel toe your feet back together. Taking a shake of your legs once you're there. Turning then to face this way. Taking your legs good and wide. Hands on hips. Left foot turns in. Right foot turns to the front. Bringing your hips around to the front as well. Pressing firmly into that back foot to help your left hip ease around. Then with your chest lifting so you're good and strong and upright, as you next exhale, slowly start that right knee bending. As your knee bends, your hips lower. Keep your torso upright. Keep the back foot pressing firmly into the ground. When you come as low as you can, check your knee and ankle. Move your foot forward if you need to so that your foot is in front, your ankle is in front of your knee. Then as you next inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Keeping that back foot pressing firmly down, especially the heel. And we'll take 2 breaths. As you next inhale, hands lift up higher. As you exhale, hips sink lower. Inhaling, fingertips lift. Exhale, sink. Keep the back foot pressing down. Keep your hands lifting, holding just for 1 more breath. Then slowly and carefully, picking up your back heel, pivoting around onto your toes, and taking this in steps, so stepping in little steps until you've come in enough so that you can start to let that leg lift up as you hinge your upper body forward. Just lifting that leg as high as your balance allows, stretching your heel back as you press your hands forward. So you're making yourself as long as you can from heel to fingers. Breath steady. Then starting to bend your standing knee, taking your back foot down behind you, lifting back up into a warrior one, keeping your hips nice and low. Then as you next inhale, straightening your front knee, coming back up, turning your feet to the side, hands on hips, heel toeing your feet back together. Taking a shake of your legs. And then with that, it's time for final relaxation. So 2 strong postures there to finish. So putting on anything warm. Maybe finding a cushion or something to put behind your head. And then bringing yourself to Shavasana, the final relaxation. Feet out to the corners of the mat, hands away from your body, your palms turned up. Letting everything relax. I suspect I don't need to tell anybody that after warrior 1 followed by warrior 3. Checking in with the back of your body, making any final adjustments so that you are comfortable and then able to let everything go, relax and rest into the ground. Knowing there's nothing you have to do right now. You just have to let go. You have to let gravity relax your body into the ground. The more you relax and rest,
the easier it is for your body to benefit from everything we've done in today's class. And keeping your body still, gently guiding your awareness back, being aware if you're lying here on your mat, feeling the ground underneath you, then bringing movement back, wriggling fingers and wriggling toes. Bringing your legs together, taking your arms up overhead, drawing your toes towards you, flexing your feet, pressing your hands back away behind you. So you're stretching long and then releasing that stretch, bending your knees, bringing one followed by the other onto your chest, bringing your arms around to hug around your knees, taking a rock side to side. And then bringing that rock into a halt, easing your head to your knees, drawing your knees a little more tightly into your chest. Then releasing your knees, landing your feet down, landing your head back down, and from there, maybe coming to the right hand side for a breath or two, slowly bringing yourself back to sitting. Wonderful to see you all. Thank you for joining me, and namaste. If you have any questions at all, whether you're watching the video or you've done the class live and want to give me a call, please do. The number's on the website. I'd be very happy to talk to you. Thank you.